Hi, this is Chris Lopez from Mountain View, and I'm going to use Google Draw to make a diagram today, and I've chosen to make a graphic organizer type diagram that I might use for this upcoming year. I'm going to start off what every page needs, a place for a kid to put their name. Okay, and for this diagram, all I'm going to do is use some of the shapes. And what I'd like the students to do is start off by making a prediction. I'm going to try to make it a little bit more attractive by adding a drop shadow to it. And for that drop shadow, I'm going to just take the distance out a little bit, help it pop off of the page. And I want students to know what to do without giving a lot of detail. That way I can use it throughout the year. I will insert a table into that space, and by inserting a table, what I can do is take all the borders. I'm going to make all the borders transparent, but then I'm going to bring back in my horizontal borders so that way students have a place to write on. Now this would be if I was going to then use this for handwriting. If I was going to use this same one and use it digitally, I would just put in a box for students to type rather than putting in the lines, because the typing doesn't add up well. But after they predict what's going to go on in the text in the story, what I'd like them to do is have a similar space to add some facts. So I'm just going to Control-C to copy, Control-V, but I'm going to make these boxes smaller and make them, my predict went in front of my table. So I'm going to order and just send it to the back. Now it is not in front of my table lines. And move it over. And I think I'm actually going to shrink it up a little bit. And if you'll note, the size of this image is about 9.5 by 7.5, which that image would then fit well onto a printed piece of paper with margins that would be around it. So my predict, I'm going to give boxes for text evidence. And I'm going to just copy that table, put it over in the space for the text evidence, and then take out all of those additional rows that I'm not going to use. And copy those boxes. Put them neatly here. Copy that table again, now that it's down to the right size. Put in each box. Everything lines up with those guidelines, which they're just lovely, letting you know, hey, this is going to match up later on, which is very helpful. However, I have an extra, there we go, I had an extra table in there. And then what I would have them do is in the end, after they have predicted, after they have text evidence, I want to give them space to have a summary. And based on the amount of space after I did all of that, I think what I will do is shrink up my predicting space a little bit, shift everything over so that they can have at least an equal amount of room in the summary as they had for the prediction. So what I did was I selected everything, and then I can just move over with my arrows. So that all moves together. I'll increase the size of my summary, bring in the size of that table that had the lines, and then there I go. There's my diagram graphic organizer that's ready for students to use. And then the last thing I will do is download it as a JPEG. And then this could be set as the background in a Google slide. Then the students can't write on the boxes, but they would be able to type over what's there. Or I can print it for physical use.